Rangers, it's time to save Mariner's Bay from Queen Bansheera and her army of evil minions. Today we take a look at Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue for the PS1 and see if there's anything of worth to this old PS1 game. And no, we are not covering the N64 game, which is a travesty of its own. Now I want to give a shout out to Arms for his artwork. Check him out below and be sure to support the channel with liking, commenting, and subscribing for more. Now let's speed into Mariner Bay and kick off this review. Four versions of this game were developed for various systems and each vary wildly in their gameplay and graphics. Based upon the 8th season of the show, the game follows the Lightspeed Rangers, a group of firefighters and Power Rangers who defend Mariner Bay from evil threats like Queen Bansheera who seeks to wipe them out. Now briefly, let's touch on the other versions, starting with the one closest to the PS1 game. The N64 edition features similar graphics and shares the actors from the show having their same roles in both games. But this is where the similarities end. The gameplay is very different in the games, and the N64 edition is quite a bit more dull to play. I mean, you don't gotta take my word for it. Ask the angry video game nerd and he'll tell you all about it. The Game Boy Color is a side-scrolling platform, and I don't know a lot about this particular edition as I don't own it, but the worst is the PC Mac edition. It's literally just an interactive activity center than a real game. It's not exactly entertaining, but the smallest of children at best. The PS1 edition is the most robust version of the game, and the version we're looking at today, with access to all 5 Rangers, plus the hidden 6th Ranger as a bonus unlockable. The gameplay of the PS1 edition definitely excels past the N64, but that's not exactly a high bar to jump, now is it? An action platformer and a beat 'em up. You're tasked with various objectives at each level, with swarms of batlings and plenty of mini-bosses and bosses dispersed throughout. It's not the worst game I played, it's a very short game, having only 8 levels total, but the game is also pretty buggy at times. I kept having level section triggers not registered, which would cause the invisible walls that won't let you move on to the next area to stay in place permanently, forcing you to reload to an earlier save or use the level skip cheat. This game's also pretty damn easy. All of my actual deaths just were because I jumped to my death, not to any of the enemies. The enemies themselves, besides being easy, are dull and repetitive, being primarily just swarms of batlings which have different colored belts, which seem to signify how strong they are. I mean, on some of the later levels they did seem to hit slightly harder, but still not anywhere near enough to kill me, especially given how prone they are to dropping health and power-up gems. The mini-bosses also have a decent amount of visual variety, but most of them amount to a big, bulky monster that punched, kicked, and maybe if you're lucky will launch an energy or magic attack before you go back to wailing on him. Oftentimes they'll die too quickly before they can even launch anything more than a punch or a kick. There's also Megazord battles, which is pretty cool. After certain boss battles, the monster will come back bigger and stronger, forcing the Rangers to take to their Zords to duke it out with the giant robot on monster violence. A cool change, but ultimately it's still the same gameplay. You're just now bigger, and now instead of your ground slam power wave super, you fire rockets out of your chest, an ability that's not particularly useful, especially once the monster closes the distance and he can keep stun locking you as you fire, thus canceling attack but still using up the bar, leaving you to resort to decking him in the snodge until he dies. There's also a live system in game. You can only hold a max of 3 spare lives, plus the one you're on putting you up to a total of 4. You can find more lives hidden throughout the game, and there's also a continue system, which will respawn you with 4 more lives where you died. A nice addition to the game, but ultimately not used in any actual capacity for me. The game also features a score system, which mostly just serves to be a leaderboard spot. A save system, which is also nice though, because you'll have to reload saves if you get unlucky repeatedly like I did, keep getting locked up. The next little bonus that's part of the PS1 version is a cheat code password system that lets you level skip, unlock the gallery, the Titanium Ranger, and a few other bonuses. Level skip was honestly the most useful to me though, due to the fact I kept having levels lock up on me and I don't save that often. Now let's talk about some of the positives of the game, however. I actually do enjoy the soundtrack of the game, and I appreciate it also having the main theme of the show, which is always one of my favorites as a kid.
Power Rangers, Lightspeed, Lightspeed Rescue! The signal is calling our plane.
Each level has its own unique track that helps to set the tone, and I like the level design when the levels actually want to work. I think it's pretty dope. I really like the Volcano City mission. I like the sea of lava and chunks of burning rock as burning boulders fly across the city. Hot volcanic steam rising out of the sewer and storm grates, coupled with the city in complete ruin, and the OST for the level is also pretty dope. But too bad it's also one of those levels that like to glitch out a lot and refuse to let you continue, as sometimes one of the triggers just won't register and drop those damn barriers. I will say the game itself runs performance-wise just fine. The frame rate's stable, and the only level that visually throws me off is the underwater one. Due to the fact that it's primarily narrow, tight corridors, you're gonna see parts of the level just jutting out in weird ways. Because the camera is higher than the ceiling, as you can see other hallways and such, which is kind of immersion breaking. Certainly not the worst game I played in the last year. I'm looking at you, Daymare, you fuck. But it's definitely not the best. It's a short, easy bargain bin of a game with a host of technical issues. And the way I look at it is, if this is the best of the four, I'd hate to have to play the other three. I do definitely enjoy some elements of it though. I like it following the show. I enjoy the soundtrack. It's definitely got some nice looking levels. If only they had ironed out some of the bugs, then I'd have no problem recommending this as a cheap, easy time-killing game. There's another bonus though, the fact you can play co-op with a friend and beat up the batlings together, so it does get bonus points for co-op play. If you pick up this game, be sure to save after each level so you can reload if the bugs do happen. But don't pay more than like $5 for it. It's really not worth a hell of a lot. I hope you enjoyed the review. Be sure to check out the artist down below and support the video with a like and comment. It's very much appreciated. This has been Core, and I'll see you next time.